Okay, hello everyone. Today we are here in Southern California at L52 Oceano. Orbx just released SoCal from their True Earth series, and I have been waiting for it. We are in VFLYTE Air's CESSNA 150 COMMUTER, one of my favorite airplanes. You've requested some more tutorials, so today we'll be doing one covering CTAF calls between untowered airports, flight planning, and using nav aids like VORs. We'll be connected to PilotEdge, and if you execute this flight on PilotEdge, you'll earn yourself a CAT-01 rating. Before we hop into the cockpit though, let's take a look at those two awesome airports. Alright, let's run through the checklist. VFLYTE Air's C150 actually has its own checklist, which is awesome. So we'll pull that up on the clipboard. Alright, our seat belts are secure. Fuel shutoff valve to on. Our brakes, which are down here, are set. Radios and electrical equipment are off. Carb heat is off. That's just to the left of the throttle here. Mixture 2, full rich. Primer. So there's a chart for this. And we're going to prime it twice. Get our throttle open to 1/4 inch. That looks good. Turn on the master. It doesn't have it, but we're going to turn on the beacon. Check the propeller area. That all looks good. All clear prop. Magnetos to both. And ignition. Okay, so for this flight, I am heading from Oceano, which has a CTAF of 122.7, and the nearest ATIS is 120.6, so I've got those both dialed into COM1. On COM2, I've got it on 121.50, that's guard, which is the emergency channel, and I also have 124.0, which is... what is 124.0? San Luis Tower. So we will be flying south of San Luis Tower, and it never hurts to hear what aircraft are coming into there. So for my nav aids, I will be using two. I have the Fellows VOR, which is on nav radio 1 at 117.5, and I have Guadalupe VOR on nav 2 at 111.0. So we're going to verify all those in a minute. Let's start by getting the ATIS, getting the weather.
San Luis County Regional Airport, ATIS information Charlie, 15560, wind 310 at 12, visibility 10, sky conditions, clear, temperature T1, dew point 6, altimeter 29905.
Alright, winds are out of 310, so that means for Oceano, you always want to take off into the wind. The nearest aligned airport to 310 is 29. So we'll be taking off on runway 29er. New Cuyama is next, so I'm going to get their ATIS queued up. And then their CTAF will be 122.9, so once we get the weather about 15 miles out, we'll go over to CTAF for our calls to New Cuyama. Let's verify our VOR, so 117.50. matches, and 111 for Guadalupe. And we're good. So we're also going to be using the DME, and I'm going to connect it to nav1 radio. So that is the Fellows VOR. We're currently 37.3 miles from the Fellows VOR, which I've got dialed in as 117.50. So for VOR 1, we want to fly the 076 radial to Fellows. So I've got that dialed on my OBS here. This is 7, this is 8, and that is 76. And then we'll know we're ready to turn when we intercept the 05 radial from Guadalupe. So that is set up here, 054, sorry, on my second CDI. Okay, pattern for Oceano is 1014. We're at sea level, so 1,000 feet above sea level. And I'm going to climb up to 1,500 before I make my turn. So when you make CTAF calls, it's very straightforward. You say who you're talking to, so the airport name and traffic, Oceano traffic, your call sign, November 359 Golf Charlie, what you're going to do, in this case, taxi, runway 29, and then you repeat the airport again, Oceano. And you just drop traffic the second time, so Oceano traffic at the beginning, Oceano at the end. It's very straightforward. I've seen some YouTube videos where pilots will not use their call sign, they'll just describe their aircraft like white Cessna, but if you go by what the recommendation is in the aeronautical information manual, it should be your call sign. You can say Cessna 359 Golf Charlie, that's perfectly fine, but white Cessna isn't recommended. You should use your call sign because there could be other white Cessnas. Oceano traffic, Cessna 359 Golf Charlie, taxi runway 29er, Oceano. Okay, we get across the runway, so let's make a CTAF announcement. Oceano traffic, Cessna 359 Golf Charlie, cross runway 29er for taxi, Oceano.
NA Bravo, Sierra Charlie to Henderson, clearance delivery, air crash on Henderson ground, stand by.
Oceano traffic,
Number 147 Delta, wind calm, runway 8, clear to land.
Coming 4,500 Oceano.
Runway 8, clear for Sunshine River.
Cuyama traffic, Cessna 35 Golf Charlie, 10 miles north at 1000, entering left downwind, runway 28, full stop, New Cuyama. New Cuyama traffic, Cessna 35 Golf Charlie, left downwind, runway 28, full stop, New Cuyama.
New Cuyama traffic, Cessna November 587 Echo Foxtrot, 10 miles northwest at 7,500, entering left downwind, runway 28, full stop, New Cuyama.
Awesome, we actually have other player traffic here. New Cuyama traffic, Cessna 35 Golf Charlie, left base, runway 28, full stop, New Cuyama. New Cuyama traffic, Cessna 35 Golf Charlie, final runway 28, full stop, New Cuyama. New Cuyama traffic, Cessna 35 Golf Charlie, clear runway 28, New Cuyama.
New Cuyama traffic, Cessna November 587 Echo Foxtrot is left downwind, runway 28. New Cuyama traffic, Cessna November 587 Echo Foxtrot, clear runway 28, taxi to transit parking, New Cuyama.
Alright, well that was a lot of fun. When I first joined PilotEdge, that was the first flight I did, earning myself a CAT-01 rating. It was really cool that we had another pilot also on CTAF, making calls for New Cuyama, so I hope you give it a try. As always, thanks again for flying with me, and stay tuned for further flight adventures.